Everyone give it up for your great host. But he actually forgot to mention all the TV shows I've been on and all the comedy clubs. I've performed all over New York City. I've performed at stand-up in New York. Anyway, are we allowed to curse on stage?
Yeah! Woo!
So, this past Halloween, it always got me thinking, how come all these kids go door to door asking the same question, and they always get the same answer, and only want one answer, so why even ask the question? Well, I'll tell you why. When I was a little kid growing up, I was going trick-or-treating door to door. I knocked on this one guy's door. The guy was balding, in his 50s, wearing a white beater, potato chip crumbs all over his stomach. I'm like, trick-or-treat. He's like, trick, I'm a pedophile, get the fuck in here! He kind of tricked me because he said he had some candy called chloroform, so it sounded kind of good. Anyone here try online dating?
Yeah.
So, a lot of girls are hesitant to meet a guy off an online dating site, which is understandable. So to ease their fears, I tell them that a recent survey showed that 10% of all marriages in the US last year were due at least in some part to online dating sites. They're like, oh, that's great. I don't tell them they're also responsible for nearly 50% of all missing persons cases. They don't need to know. And if I call them after the day and they don't respond, maybe they get 51%. I'm just kidding. No. It can get kind of confusing sometimes ordering takeout. My friend was over and he was at my house and I told him to order Chinese food, and he called and I was relaying my address back to him and he would repeat it to the guy on the phone. And he's like, it's 435 Central Park West, apartment. I'm like, it's apartment 4G. He's like, yeah, it's apartment 4G is in Gray. I'm like, no, you fucking idiot, it's in Gary. I'm like, it doesn't matter. And then the guy on the phone says to my friend, wait, what floor did you say you were? He's like, 4. 4 is in 4,368. No, 67. Oh, wait, you don't need to do that for numbers. So, who are people rooting for in the NBA Finals? Spurs. So I was actually rooting for the Spurs also, so I was really upset when they lost. And my friends are like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to leave the country. They're like, well, where are you going to go? I'm like, Guatemala. They're like, why Guatemala? That's a really poor country. I'm like, they have to ship the fucking Spurs wins t-shirt somewhere. And then I go there, and all these Guatemalan kids are like, tell us about President Romney! And then they're like, do we really have to wear these Aaron Hernandez jerseys? So I was wondering also the terms they use for certain crimes. Like the more serious crimes should have worse sounding names, like Grand Theft Auto. Grand, big, auto, big. Okay, that makes sense. Something less serious like petite larceny. That's like when you rob skinny girls. But then it doesn't work so well for another. There's murder, which is the worst in the book, and something that's supposed to be less serious, manslaughter. Doesn't slaughtering a man sound a lot worse than murder?
Yeah.
So I've been very depressed recently. So I was always wondering because as a kid, when I was growing up, all these adults were like, oh, I'm depressed, so I'm going to kill myself. But I don't understand. Then I grew up, and I'm like, oh, now I get it. So I called up the suicide hotline. After 30 minutes of waiting, this guy answered the phone, and he's like, hi, my name's John. I'm your life counselor. Is there anything I can help you with? I'm like, no, I just called to listen to the music you guys play in the background while you were waiting. But actually, no, what happened was my wife left me. She got full custody of the kids. And I just lost my job. He's like, listen, buddy, I think you're on the right track. I'm like, damn it, how do you know? Because I was in the D track, because I knew the B doesn't even run on weekends. And then finally, the call ended when I was bitching and moaning about my life so much. My career counselor shot himself in the head. So, everyone here, I guess, could relate to the subway. You know, those announcements, the same announcements all over. So if you see something, keep it to yourself. Chances are, if you tell an MTA employee, they won't know what the fuck to do. And so I was riding the subway. Something that bothers me about the subway is everyone tries to rush onto the train before you can get off, and it's like a game. You gotta get on time. But then when they rush to the stairs leading out of the station, but then when we get to the stairs, it looks like they're looking up at fucking Mount Everest. Like you want to help them out, give them rope, oxygen masks, and gloves. But for some of these people, it doesn't even matter. They're so fat. They take up 2 seats on the train. Excuse me, did you swipe your Metro card twice? No, I don't think so. So get the fuck up. What was that me about the airlines wanting to start charging you for 2 seats. You got 2 meals with that as well. So I recently had I was recently flying, and they decided to search me more in depth at the pat-down, which is kind of understandable because I was wearing a yarmulke, and Jews are notorious for blowing up airplanes. And I felt like he was wearing gloves and everything, but I felt like he was going a little overboard. He was like touching me down my pants, he was touching my ass, and I'm like, excuse me? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you work here? He laughed. No, I'm kidding. He actually said, oh shit, I think they're on to me, and he ran away. And then I'm like, oh shit, I think they're on to me, I don't even have a flight. So, one thing I noticed in New York City a lot is all the stores have the name of their store and neon lights outside the store. Like, at what point does the business decision get handed down that it's time to fix the lights? How many letters have to be missing? 50%, 75%, 100%? Where do they draw a line? So I went into a Kmart because they had this problem. I asked to speak to the manager, and I went up to the manager. I'm like, you really got to fix your lights. Only one letter's lit up. It's very offensive. He's like, why is it offensive? Because I'm like, only the letter K is lit up. That's scaring away customers. He's like, it's just a K. I'm like, yeah, if you're right next to Kohl's and KFC and they have the same problems, so you're scaring away 13% of the population. And I just lose 13% of the money. Anyway, that was another perfect show by me today. I gotta run.
Guys, Oren and Glass, Steve on